Hey, what's going on? How you doing, guys? This is Sho'Nuff for DC Universe Online for the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, and for the PC. Today I want to talk to you guys about an Electric DPS loadout. Again, this is a Electric DPS loadout video. Let's go ahead and get this cracking. Now, first off, this is courtesy of yours truly and for DCUO Blog Guide. You can go ahead and go to their website, check out their guides, check out their fantastic source that's laying within DCUO. They got you guys covered on pretty much on a multitude scale of everything in this game. All right, so with that being said, we're going to jump over to powers. We're going to go to voltage. All right, now after GU50 or course game update 50, the electric powers received a damage buff, which of course will help out immensely for damage over time area effects. And then of course we also have excuse me, a much better advanced mechanic which based off of power regeneration. Okay, so we're going to talk about our loadout real quick. First off, you're going to go ahead and go to voltage and grab these powers. You got Tesla Blast. Over to your left, you're going to grab Bioelectric Surge and Electrogenesis, which you pretty much what you see here is what you're going to equip into your loadout. But over to your right, you're going to grab Wired, Shockwave, and Voltap Bolt. And then over to your right, you got Electro Burst and Arc Lightning. Again, over to your left, Bioelectric Surge. Excuse me, I'm just being tongue-tied here. Bioelectric Surge and Electrogenesis. Over in the middle, Wired, Shockwave, and Voltap Bolt. And to your right, Electro Burst and Arc Lightning. All right. Now over to amperage, you're gonna go ahead, of course, grab Repulse, Attract, Electrostatic Bomb, and Electrocute. That's going to be your important power right there. Now, I grabbed Circuit Breaker, which of course creates a localized burst of electricity damage and not back nearby enemies. Increase critical attack chance and critical attack damage. Protect yourself against control effects and regenerate health over time. Basically, what that is, pretty much with this superpower, with this supercharge, is really good, and it also increases your critical attack chance and your damage, so it increases your crits pretty much. All right, that's not too bad at all. However, that is an option, and we will talk about that in just a moment. For your iconic powers, these are your innates. You want to be sure that when you're running a DPS loadout, you're grabbing these, what I call your default innates, which is Weapons Expert and Tactical Genius. Okay, so with that being said, we'll go over to loadouts, and this is how I run my loadout. This is how I set it up for you. This is your choice, however you want to set it up. But what I have here is Electrogenesis, Electrocute, Voltap Bolt, Arc Lightning, Wired, and Shockwave. Again, I'm gonna run that by to you again from left to right. Electrogenesis, Electrocute, Voltap Bolt, Arc Lightning, Wired, and Shockwave. Now, Shockwave, of course, can be substituted for Circuit Breaker, but we will talk about the reason why I chose Shockwave in just a moment, and we're going to talk about the rotation now. Now, this loadout is based on a this is your damage over time loadout here. All right, so you're not necessarily dealing direct straightforward damage, but this nonetheless is powerful damage that you'll be dishing out to your enemies, more so your aggro. All right, so you'll be definitely an asset to raids, alerts, whichever. All right, so with that being stated, Shockwave could be considered more as your straightforward damage if you are running solos, but then again, I mean, the option is up to you if you want to choose Circuit Breaker. But what we're going to do for the rotation, you're going to clip Electrogenesis with Wired, and then we're going to go into Electrocute with GU50 implemented. All right, the update we have, or rather the electric powers, has a much better advanced mechanics, which of course deals with regenerating power regeneration. when activated, is activated after when electric, adding electric, charge to it. Of course, any power that's, you interact with electrocute, generates power when activated after adding an electric charge or while electrocute is activated. That's pretty much for almost any power in this thing, with the exception, of course, for shockwave and wired. All right. So, well, actually with wired. So, pardon me for that. So let's go ahead and jump on the action with this. We're going to go ahead and clip Electric Genesis with wired into electrocute. Alright, now with that, you're going to go ahead and go into Weapon Mastery. And I messed up the clipping there, but we're going to go ahead and do that. There we go, we got that right. Alright, so as we do our dot damage there, that's pretty much your rotation. Alright, so of course you got your power regeneration while electrocute is activated, and as long as your enemies are charged, so they will receive some damage as well, or rather you will also have power regeneration. As you see there, for 24.6 seconds we just dealt 51,119 points of damage, and I mean that's just excellent. That's very good. Alright, so what we got there also, we're going to talk about shockwave, so we're going to do this again. Alright, so as I did shockwave there, that just adds not only just much more damage to it, we just refreshed the damage there. I mean, we just refreshed the damage. So less seconds there, we just, within 21.7 seconds, we just dealt 58,076 points total of damage there. Just 44 hits, same exact combo counter, but we just added shockwave. Just added shockwave, and with shockwave, that refreshes pretty much electric. That pretty much refreshes Electric Genesis, and also with pretty much refreshes Electric Genesis. So what he did was you just added, stack more damage onto that. That's pretty much it. So if you were to run Circuit Breaker, you could increase your critical attack chances and your damage. However, with Shockwave, I just dealt some damage with that, and you could, and for me personally, if you were to discover this your own, it'll be completely different. However, when I ran Circuit Breaker, I dealt the same amount of damage as I did that with Shockwave. Which, if you was to equip Circuit Breaker, you're dropping damage. You're dropping damage rather than if you were to use Shockwave. With Shockwave, you're not dropping damage at all. You're increasing your chances, and of course, you're refreshing Electric Genesis, so you could stack and add more damage to the to your loadout. So again, you got your clipping. You can do it twice if you want. And after that, crits are important. You see how long that lasts? I mean, that's ridiculous. And that's 23 seconds. That's 23.3 seconds. We just dished out 62,781 points of damage. You discover that for yourself. I mean, if you honestly, discover it for yourself. This loadout is great. I personally enjoy it. I love it. If you, if you're running electric DPS, if you're running electric powers, I suggest running this loadout here. If you want to switch and use, circuit breaker, you could. I also seen some people use electrostatic bomb. You know, you can dish out some damage over time with that also. But I mean, and of course it gravitates and pulls your enemies inside that field. However, it's up to you. All right, that's what I would do. But of course, again, options up to you. So you guys check out this loadout. Check out DCUOblogguide.com, and of course, leave a comment, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. Sho'Nuff.